I-70 in the mountains has been closed since yesterday. Teams have been working throughout the morning to get stranded folks off of the interstate so that it can reopen. And at last check, 4 o'clock or so was the time that they were hoping to reopen to car traffic, telling trucks and semis they have to wait for tomorrow.
So we've got Tamara Rollison from CDOT on the phone with us right now. And Tamara, what's the latest on that and the road conditions specifically?
We are making some progress on I-70. We have been removing stranded vehicles that were buried. Our biggest challenge has been unburying the semis, the tractor trailers. We had quite an issue with them not chaining up as they should, so it was a combination of fast-moving snow, adverse weather conditions, and many truckers not putting on their chains, causing them to jackknife and block the highway, has presented a very challenging situation with us. But we are making some really good progress in getting those vehicles out of the way so that we can start opening the roadway. I can't tell you when, I don't know at this point, but we're making some good progress.
Earlier, CDOT had said that they thought that it would be around 4 o'clock. Should we still say around 4 o'clock, or is it just time TBD?
I would say to be on the safe side, to be determined at this point, but I can say it's looking good. And we're a little hesitant to put an exact time because something else could happen, and such as, depending on the weather conditions and what happens with that. But rest assured, we are working relentlessly. Our crew members are, CSP, emergency personnel, to get the road clear as soon as we possibly can.
Do you know how many people were stuck on the interstate overnight, either how many vehicles roughly or how many people roughly?
I don't have an exact number on that. Obviously, it was many, and we do know that folks were stuck for many hours. And I know that it has been a very challenging situation for those who were on the I-70 corridor, and we are working extremely hard to get it open under some very challenging situations.
Do you know of any serious medical emergencies that happened for folks up there overnight?
I'm not aware of emergency type of situations. Probably your best source would be the CSP on that. They would probably have a better source of that. But we do tell people if they are in an emergency situation, whether they're on the road or they're in their homes and they can't get from A to B because of the weather, that they should call 911.
So Tamara, you mentioned the semi-trucks and going on these roads unprepared, and that really led to this domino effect. From a rescue point of view and everything else, if those semis had all been fully prepared for these conditions, would we be looking at anything like this, or do you think the road could potentially still be open?
Well, that's a big what if, but I think it would be a different story. It definitely would have been a different story. We had we do with every storm, with trucks not, with a lot of truckers are wonderful, they follow the law, but a lot of them don't. And we have traction laws for a reason. You have to chain up so you can have as much traffic as you possibly can when you're driving on the I-70 mountain corridor. And when you're not chained up, and truckers that jackknife, they're the ones that don't have the chains, it really causes major issues. It's an automatic blockage of the roadway, which has an incredible ripple effect on traffic. It's hard to get it back to normal at that point, even when conditions are sunny and nice and dry. It still can wreak havoc.
And Tamara, just quickly, am I imagining things, or did a couple of years ago, you and CSP actually did chain control checkpoints like at Silverthorne to do a visual check on every semi going on during certain high volume times because you knew just what a mess it could be? Is that something that has ever been used in the past, and what would it take to institute that on a day like today?
CSP, they're the ones who would be in charge of that, and we would assist with them in that. It's just, and they're definitely out there. They're definitely out there looking for those violations, and I know they also are imposing fines and fees. I just think today, and since last night, the priority has been to keep the road plowed, try to stay ahead of it as much as possible, and keep people safe as much as possible. I will say this, though, and hopefully this will help. we are going to prohibit tractor trailers from driving the I-70 mountain corridor until tomorrow because of the adverse conditions, and that will help prevent some of these closures.
All right, Tamara Rollison from CDOT, appreciate that very much, and totally understand there were some things that we were asking here. There are things that they do in partnership with CDOT, and I know this idea of chain stop checkpoints. That was a big conversation right around 2019, 2020, so about 4 years ago, the idea of checking each vehicle going on. But obviously, that's very labor intensive on a day when both CDOT and CSP are stretched thin anyway.
Right. And just trying to now get the road open and rescue people and deal with all of that. So tough questions, but going to be asked a lot in the days and weeks ahead and years ahead, because this isn't going to stop.